G'day there, Emil from Performance by Design with a session today called Strategy Without Culture is Just an Idea. Now obviously a Performance by Design is an organisation that helps build high performing teams. We're pretty big on culture. But something that came to my attention a little while ago was an interesting article by Michael Millard and Greg Welsh around this concept. And the heading of the article was Finding Harmony, Why Marketing Groups Need to Align Culture and Strategy. Sparked my attention. And what their research found is that organisations thrive when the two join and marry together. Now, we are of the belief that your people are your business, right? So if we don't have a great culture, who's going to actually do any of the work? And how are we going to work together to create results that we want? Now, a survey inside of their research that was conducted by a boozing company found that 84% of executives thought that this culture and strategy alignment was crucial to success, yet in the research and the study, less than 10% had any type of cultural transformation success at all. So there's an understanding that there's a need for it, but an inability to execute upon it. And we know the great Peter Drucker who coined the phrase, culture eats strategy for breakfast. And so when you dive into that, you look at even the way Google was formed in the early days. It was all about safety over individual smarts. And that's that argument and conversation around character over competency. And in the early days, there's many stories of other Silicon Valley giants starting to build their name who went more for highly talented teams where the Google guys strategically chose teams that were collaborative, setting up their organisation for people to feel safe to collaborate, to communicate and collaborate, which then enabled that innovation. And that safety, as I always keep coming back to in these sessions, that safety enables that real talk. Really interesting, isn't it, when you think about hiring highly talented people over high character people who will work together, because we are smarter and stronger together. We produce amazing results when we actually do collaborate well together, which is still a tough thing. I see a lot of challenging organisations with that. Now, when we talk about real talk, we're also not talking necessarily about arguing, we're talking about healthy conflict, if you like. And if I can recommend one book that talks very deeply about this, is Powerful by Patty McCord. She's an absolute legend. She was the lady that helped build that much renowned Netflix culture of really open and honest conversations. And the thing we want to bring to your attention today is around this real talk has to be very much aligned around your values. If you're going to stay in dialogue with team members, communicate well to collaborate and then innovate, you have to have a mutual reference point for conversations. And that's what values and behaviours give us. The conversation needs to be focused on improvement. We're having this conversation, we're in a bit of healthy conflict because we want to get the best result together, okay? And what's very important, and we talk a lot about this in our workshops, we have to care for each other and the team. There has to be these two things combined to have really good, healthy internal conflict, okay? Now, your culture code is your key, talking about your values, talking about your behaviours. If we don't have a reference point, particularly values and behaviours inside of our organisation, then we don't have a platform and a reference point for conversations. Our code inside of Performance by Design, our code helps us have open conversations about performance. It helps us make decisions and especially have hard conversations and make hard decisions. And also, you want to recruit people through your code and then induct them once they've made it inside of it, right? Now, this is great. If you haven't read Good to Great as a book, you should all have read it. If you're a corporate leader in 2019, you have to read, obviously, Jim Collins' book, Good to Great. Great companies start by getting the right people on the bus, the wrong people off the bus, and the right people in the right seats. And that's really, I share that because that code also gives you that framework for choosing the right people. So to close the loop on the session today, I got an interesting question that's gone around the loop a little bit here. Have you clearly articulated the right people for your team by the way of values and behaviours? Have you defined what a great person, what the right person looks like inside of your organisation? Because by virtue of his research, if you get the right people, they will find the right strategy. They will create the strategy in real time, because in all his research in Good to Great, all of them didn't have an amazing strategy, but they had amazing people. So there you have it. Strategy without culture is just an idea. My name's Emil from Performance by Design.